Everybody needs to eat healthier, yet a significant number of us are unreasonably occupied for the sort of cooking that requires long recipes and considerably longer cooking occasions. Every so often, it might be extreme enough just to discover the vitality or time to try and boil water. One surefire approach to guarantee that you can appreciate snappy, simple, and healthful vegan suppers is to have a very much loaded plant-based pantry close within reach. At the point when your body says healthy home-cooked dinner and your psyche says, "Where's the takeout menu?" your best arrangement is to have a weapons store of heavenly go-to dishes that you can assemble rapidly, utilizing things as of now in your pantry, ice chest, and cooler. At the point when you keep a very much supplied storeroom and freezer, you are consistently minutes from a healthy, great-tasting meal. Regardless of whether you depend on canned beans and speedy cooking grains or cook your own enormous bunches of beans and rice to segment and freeze, a decent flexibly of grains, beans, and seasonings gives the premise to fast and flavorful pantry meals. In the event that you've been a long-lasting omnivore, going vegan most likely appears to be truly scary. What's more, don't misunderstand us, it's a genuine change, certainly. But on the other hand, it's a do-capable one, as long as you have strong recipes to depend on. On the off chance that you end up concluding that a vegan method of eating is for you, these 3 meat-free and dairy-free recipes are an astounding spot to begin. With them, we think you'll see that going vegan is in reality much simpler than you might suspect. First, we have vegan stir-fried garlic tofu and eggplant. In case you will go vegan, it's imperative to ace the specialty of the stir-fry. This adaptation utilizes Asian eggplant. Simply be certain you're utilizing vegan oyster sauce in the formula. Eggplant can be a polarizing vegetable. There are the individuals who couldn't care less for it, however, we're in the other camp. We love eggplant in any structure, regardless of whether broiled, flame-broiled, or even pureed into baba ganoush. Be that as it may, our total top choice? At the point when eggplant is stir-fried with bunches of garlic and covered with a polished, flavorful sauce that we can spoon over a major bowl of steamed rice. Regardless of whether you're not veggie lover, this recipe can lean you that way in the event that you can get your hands on some vegan shellfish sauce. There are various approaches to make crispy tofu, however, the technique we go to utilizes a non-stick pan, which guarantees that the tofu browns pleasantly, yet doesn't adhere to the skillet. When the tofu earthy colors, the pan is allowed to stir-fry the eggplant with garlic until it's pleasantly burned outwardly, yet rich within. We love utilizing Japanese or Chinese eggplants here since they're littler and less unpleasant than their bigger Italian partners. The sauce that holds everything together is a blend of oyster sauce, vegetarian in the event that you need to keep the dish vegan, soy sauce or tamari, cornstarch, rice vinegar, and a touch of red pepper chips. The completing touch is a major bunch of basil leaves. Sweet and somewhat zesty Thai basil is the ideal decision here, albeit normal Italian basil will work flawlessly as well. We like this stir-fry piled over steamed white or earthy colored rice, however, rice noodles would likewise work extraordinary. Fixings. For the sauce: 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes, 1 teaspoon rice vinegar, 1 teaspoon cornstarch, 1 tablespoon soy sauce or tamari, 2 tablespoons Shaoxing wine or dry sherry, 2 tablespoons regular or vegetarian oyster sauce, 1/3 cup of water. For the stir-fry: steamed rice, for serving, 1/2 cup of packed fresh Thai or Italian basil leaves, 2 cloves garlic, finely chopped, 1 pound of eggplant, preferably Asian, cut into 3/4 inch dice, salt, 4 tablespoons vegetable oil, 1 14 to 16 ounce package firm tofu, drained and cut into 3/4 inch cubes. Guidelines. For the sauce, whisk all the ingredients together in a little bowl, ensuring the cornstarch is broken down. For the stir-fry, line an enormous plate with 2 layers of paper towels. Place the tofu in a solitary layer on the paper towels to deplete. Heat 2 tablespoons of the oil in a 14-inch level-bottomed wok or enormous non-stick frying pan over medium-high warmth until sparkling. Include the tofu, spread into a solitary layer, and season liberally with salt. Cook, flipping infrequently, until brilliant earthy colored on. In any event 2 sides, be cautious, it will splatter, around 10 minutes complete. Expel to a spotless plate. Include the staying 2 tablespoons of oil to the pan and include the eggplant. Season with salt and stir-fry until roasted in spots, around 2 minutes. Include the garlic and cook until fragrant, around 30 seconds. Include the held tofu and stir to join. Whisk the saved sauce to recombine and break down the cornstarch, and add it to the pan. Diminish the warmth to medium and stir-fry until the sauce has thickened and covers the tofu and eggplant, around brief more. Expel the pan from the warmth, include the basil leaves, and hurl to join. Serve promptly with steamed rice. Extra notes. Gluten-free. To make this dish gluten-free, search for oyster sauce marked gluten-free and use tamari instead of soy sauce. Veggie lover oyster sauce. Normal oyster sauce is generally produced using oysters, yet vegetarian oyster sauce, which is produced using mushrooms, is a vegetarian and vegan elective. Next, we have green pea and chickpea falafel. Falafel is one of those astonishing vegan fundamental dishes that doesn't feel like you're passing up anything. This weeknight accommodating interpretation of great falafel is as simple as it comes, since it depends on basically opening a can of chickpeas to begin. The kinds of spring are included as new peas, which loan a splendid green tint to the patties. This recipe commends the short season when new peas are accessible. However, solidified peas can likewise carry out the responsibility when the falafel longing for hits during different seasons. Rather than being broiled, these falafels are shallow fried. In addition to the fact that it is less chaotic, yet it likewise makes for lighter patties that are as yet firm. Delicately spiced with cumin and red pepper chips, they're bound to be full into pita with hummus or tzatziki sauce. Fixings. Canola or vegetable oil, for frying. 2 tablespoons all-purpose flour. 1 teaspoon of baking soda. A large portion of a teaspoon of new ground black pepper. 1 teaspoon of salt. 1½ teaspoons of ground cumin. 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. 1/4 cup of fresh parsley leaves. 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. 2 cloves garlic. 1/2 of chopped medium red onion. 3/4 cup of fresh peas, shelled or solidified peas, defrosted. 1 cup of canned chickpeas, depleted and flushed. Guidelines. In the case of utilizing new peas, add to a pot of salted bubbling water, and cook for around 3 to 5 minutes, until delicate. Channel the water and cool the peas totally. Join all fixings, aside from the oil, in the bowl of a food processor. Beat until the blend is all around consolidated, however not pureed. Modify flavoring as vital. Heat around 1 inch of impartial oil in a skillet over medium warmth, until it arrives at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Then, structure the blend into little patties. Set up a paper towel-lined heating sheet and put it in a safe spot. Fry the patties in bunches, a couple at once, without swarming the pan. Cook, turning once in a while, until brilliant earthy colored, around 5 minutes. Move to the readied baking sheet to cool. Rehash with the rest of the patties, and afterwards serve right away. At last, we have creamy vegan queso dip. Veggie lover queso seems like an oxymoron, doesn't it? In any case, this velvety dip is as near the genuine article as you can get without having any dairy. We challenge you to serve it at your next gathering without telling anybody it's vegan. Let's face it, considering vegan cheddar substitutes fails to impress anyone. Perhaps you've taken a look at the vegan cheddar alternatives in the grocery stores, or even fiddled with persuading a few hunks of almond cheddar to dissolve on cuts of bread under the oven. We would say, that stuff doesn't soften and will leave your cheddar dreams miserably broke. Along these lines, when concocting a velvety vegan queso recipe, I needed to ensure it was tantamount to the genuine article. No broke dreams here. We're thinking ambitiously with veggies, cashews, and a huge amount of flavors, and it's paying off by the chip full. A friend came into the kitchen while we were preparing the veggies for the queso plunge. They asked us what we were making, and when we stated, we're making queso, they gave us a curious look and looked incredulously at the heaps of carrots and butternut squash we were hacking. "Where's the cheese?" they inquired. We broke the news that there would be no cheese in this queso. In the end, they abandoned attempting to comprehend our cheese-less jokes, and left the kitchen. As we cooked the veggies with a lot of flavors, we heard their voice hollering from the front room, "Goodness my God, that smells extremely lovely." Thus, we realized we were progressing nicely. The relaxed vegetables went into our Vitamix with green chilies, salsa, cashews, almond milk, and a lot of nourishing yeast to give it that cheesy flavor. The outcomes were incredible. We plunged a spoon in the completed item, tasted it, and grinned somewhat, realizing that this plunge could trick any cheese lover. We made up a party platter of vegan queso and chips and called our friend into the front room to enable us to trial. After the primary chomp, we as a whole plunged on the dip like 2 or 3 hungry hyenas, every so often halting to reveal to one another, with full mouths, how much this dip posed a flavor like the genuine article. Fixings: 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, 3 cloves of minced garlic, 1/2 cup of thick tomato salsa or pico de gallo, 1/4 cup of nutritional yeast, 1 raw cashews, doused for 30 minutes or up to expedite and afterward depleted, 1½ cups of unsweetened plain almond milk, 1 4-ounce can of depleted green chilies, 1/4 teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper, a large portion of a teaspoon of chili powder, 1 cup of low-sodium vegetable broth, 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, 2 teaspoons of separated kosher salt, 1 cup of daintily cut butternut squash, 2 huge carrots, finely chopped, a large portion of a large yellow onion, finely diced, 2 tablespoons olive oil. Additional toppings: cilantro, hacked cherry tomatoes, cured jalapenos, stout salsa or rotel. Directions: heat the olive oil in a huge saucepan over medium warmth until shining. Include the onions and garlic and sauté until the onions are delicate and the garlic is fragrant. Include the carrots, butternut squash, 1 teaspoon of the salt, cumin, bean stew powder, and dark pepper. Cook, mixing sporadically, for several minutes. Include the vegetable stock and stew, mixing every now and again, until the vegetables are delicate. You need them to be sufficiently delicate to mix up in a blender with no issues. Move the blend to a powerful blender. Include the green bean stews, almond milk, depleted cashews, dietary yeast, salsa, vinegar, and staying 1 teaspoon salt. Mix, scratching down the sides varying until the blend has arrived at a thick and smooth consistency. Taste and alter the seasoning varying. In the event that it's chilled, move to a saucepan and tenderly warm over low warmth to wanted temperature. Serve it in a bowl close by tortilla chips and trimming it with your preferred garnishes. Extra notes: capacity: leftovers can be put away in a hermetically sealed holder in the fridge for as long as 5 days. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more tips, information, and advice from Wellness World.